снова развесится.
Ты кто такой? Кто?
The movie kicks off in a quiet, picturesque spot in Ukraine's Donbass region. Our main character, Mykola, lives a simple life with his pregnant wife, Nastia.
Николай, спасибо, нам достаточно.
They're known as the first eco-settlers in the area, embracing a minimalist lifestyle. Nastia is an artist who loves to draw and carve wooden figures. She even makes a small wooden angel for Mykola, hoping it will protect him. Meanwhile, Mykola is a brilliant mathematician, physicist, and environmentalist who teaches at a local school. Every day, he rides his bicycle to work, passing by the peace sign outside their home, which features a white raven's paw, a symbol from an ancient legend about a raven that sacrificed its feathers to help humans. Since they live off the grid without modern electronics, they remain unaware of major news events. Mykola only catches bits and pieces of what's happening in the world when he takes short TV breaks at work. That's how he finds out about violent protests in Ukraine's capital and the looming threat of a Russian invasion. At school, Mykola faces trouble from a student named Ivan, who sees him as an oddball and doesn't think he belongs there. However, Mykola, being a pacifist, doesn't let the boy's taunts get under his skin. He believes in guiding young minds rather than engaging in pointless arguments. One morning, on his way to work, he notices soldiers standing by the roadside, but doesn't think much of it. However, when he reaches school, he finds the building deserted. The TV confirms his worst fears. Russia has launched an invasion of Ukraine. Suddenly, everything clicks, and he remembers the soldiers he saw earlier. Fear grips him as he rushes back home, hoping his wife is safe. But when he gets there, he's met with a nightmare. The Russian troops have already invaded, and Nastia is being beaten. When Mykola tries to intervene, they capture him too. The soldiers suspect they might be spies, but after determining they're just civilians, they set fire to their home. Just as they're about to leave, Nastia, fueled by rage, picks up a rock and hurls it at them. That's all the excuse they need. Without hesitation, they shoot her and walk away like nothing happened. Mykola, utterly shattered, clings to his wife's lifeless body as his home burns to the ground behind him. Hours later, two Ukrainian militia members stumble upon Mykola. After confirming he's just a civilian, they help him bury Nastia. Before leaving, Mykola makes sure to take the wooden angel she made for him, his last connection to her. The soldiers take him back to their base, but the higher-ups are skeptical. A random outsider showing up unannounced? He could be a spy. But Mykola quickly makes his intentions clear. He wants to enlist and fight back against the Russian invaders. With that, Mykola is thrown into brutal military training, something completely foreign to him. As a pacifist, he's never handled weapons, let alone engaged in physical combat. The training is intense, pushing his body to the limit and forcing him to master firearms. He struggles, especially with disassembling and reassembling guns, which earns him plenty of ridicule from his instructors. The teasing gets worse when he announces his chosen codename, Raven. But Mykola doesn't let the mockery break him. Instead, he doubles down, training late into the night, sharpening his skills, and always keeping Nastia's wooden angel close as a reminder of why he's doing this. A few weeks later, the army announces they need more snipers. Not many soldiers are eager to take up the role, but Mykola doesn't hesitate. He volunteers immediately. Of course, his decision is met with more laughter and skepticism. Determined to prove himself, he takes on a challenge. Blindfolded, he disassembles and reassembles an AK-47 in under 20 seconds. This feat earns him the respect of his peers, and from that moment, they start calling him Raven. When it comes to the theoretical side of sniper training, Mykola excels. Thanks to his background in physics and mathematics, he outperforms even the instructors in calculating trajectories and distances. But shooting? That's where he struggles. While everyone else gets proper sniper rifles, he's handed an outdated, ineffective firearm. Every time he complains about it, he's told to suck it up and deal with it. Refusing to be held back, Mikola comes up with a way to prove his worth. During the final sniper test, held at night, the trainees are supposed to shoot as soon as a flare illuminates their targets. But Mikola does something unexpected. He doesn't fire right away. Instead, he uses the brief light to make quick calculations. When the flare dies out and darkness takes over, he finally takes a shot. The result? A perfect bullseye, dead center. No one else even comes close. This incredible feat earns him the highest ranking in the class. And he's assigned to an elite unit for his first real mission. His team is tasked with reclaiming a key checkpoint that Russian forces have seized. They move in stealthily, avoiding detection, and prepare to take out their assigned targets. But just as they're about to fire, an unexpected complication arises. A civilian car approaches the checkpoint. The Russian soldiers stop the vehicle and force the passengers, a man and a woman, to hand over their passports. When the couple asks for their documents back, the soldiers refuse, and the man gets agitated, demanding their return. That's all it takes for the Russians to turn violent. Seeing this, Mikola and his team spring into action. With precise, well-coordinated shots, they eliminate every enemy soldier in a matter of seconds. One Russian even tries to use the civilian woman as a human shield, but the snipers are too quick. Mikola takes him out before he can harm her. Once the mission wraps up, the team proudly raises the Ukrainian flag, officially reclaiming the checkpoint. Back at the base, Maka learns that some of the rookies have been sent on another mission. With some free time, he decides to visit his old school, and the sight of the empty, dusty classrooms stirs deep emotions in him. The next day, when the rest of the team returns, Maka is hit with devastating news. One of his close friends has been killed by an enemy sniper. This fuels his growing desire for revenge. In their next mission, Maka's team hides explosives in the trees, camouflaging them with leaves before lying low in the grass, waiting for the enemy to show up. When Russian soldiers appear, just as predicted, Maka freezes in shock. Among them is Ivan, the same student who once gave him trouble at school. Now he's fighting for the Russian forces. The captain snaps Maka out of his daze, ordering him to detonate the explosives. With a heavy heart, Maka obeys, wiping out the entire enemy squad, including Ivan. When the captain asks what happened, Maka explains, and the captain simply says Ivan made his choice. Later, during some downtime, Maka and the captain talk about their pasts. The captain carries a photo of his family and explains that his daughters think he's away on a business trip. In return, Maka shows him the wooden angel, explaining that it represents the family he lost. A few days later, Ukrainian forces successfully secure the trenches near the border, and Maka's team prepares for the incoming Russian troops. Clutching the angel for strength, he positions himself and waits for the perfect moment to strike. But when he sees a familiar face among the Russian forces, the soldier who murdered his wife, his emotions get the best of him. He repeatedly asks for permission to fire, but the captain denies him each time, saying it's not the right moment. Unable to hold back any longer, Maka takes the shot, hitting his target. But in doing so, he exposes their location. Immediately, a hidden Russian sniper retaliates, killing the captain. Chaos erupts as bullets and explosions rain down around them. Maka, determined to retrieve the captain's body, drags him back to base, dodging every shot and explosion along the way. Once at base, his superior assures him they'll track down the sniper responsible. When they do, Maka will be the one to take him out. Consumed by guilt, Maka throws himself into solo missions, taking down Russian soldiers one by one. But without anyone to keep him in check, he gets reckless and ends up with a bullet wound in his arm. He retreats to a hidden location to recover, watching the news for updates on negotiations with Russia. His short break is cut off when he receives an urgent call. His unit has found the sniper who killed the captain. The intelligence gathered reveals that this sniper, named Sori, has already taken out 5 Ukrainian snipers and 3 machine gunners. He even records his kills and uploads them to spread fear. One of his videos is the recording of the captain's death. Despite the losses, Ukrainian forces have managed to pinpoint his location, a chemical plant. Since they can't use landmines due to chlorine storage in the facility, they come up with a new strategy. The sniper team will first eliminate the lower-ranking soldiers to clear a path for Maka to sneak in and take out Sori directly. As the mission begins, Ukrainian snipers get into position while Maka crawls undetected through the field. He encounters an enemy soldier, the same man who was with the squad that attacked his home. The soldier recognizes him and sneers, saying he should have killed Maka when he had the chance. Maka doesn't hesitate this time. He takes him out with a single shot. With the go-ahead signal from Maka, the snipers open fire all at once, eliminating their targets with precision. Now, only Sori and one other Russian sniper remain. Sori doesn't realize something is wrong until he loses contact with his comrades. When he and his partner go to check, they find their entire squad dead. Meanwhile, Maka moves deeper into the building unnoticed. Sori calls for backup and sends his partner to keep watch before returning to his sniper post, where he finds a small wooden angel waiting for him. The sight barely registers before Maka leaps out of the shadows, tackling Sori and killing him with a knife. At the same time, Sori's last ally meets his end when he triggers a hidden grenade. Just then, the backup forces that Sori had summoned arrive, but Maka intercepts their communication and taunts them over the radio, vowing that they'll pay for what they've done. The moment the Russian truck arrives, the Ukrainian soldiers open fire, wiping out the reinforcements in seconds. With his vengeance fulfilled, having avenged his wife, his friend, and his captain, Maka takes a brief break and returns home to visit NASA's grave. He fixes the fallen cross, paying his respects. However, he knows he can't stay. There's still more work to be done for his country. Before long, he's back on another mission, ready to keep fighting. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, take care.